some things I'm going to share. I think my body's going through detoxing on its own as I've been sneezing all day, all last evening. I was just sneezing. I've been drinking ginger and honey tea and just letting it come out. And knowing that we're in the spring season, because spring started on March 19th, 2024. If I sneeze during this video, just excuse me. I'm not going to keep saying it. If it happens, you know it's going to happen. It's just happening. I am sneezing congested. But being in the season of spring, of course, we're looking into the liver, cleansing and detoxing the liver in traditional Chinese medicine. That is the organ for this season. That holds in the emotions of anger and frustration. So look into releasing anger. It is. I'm not answering right now. Releasing anger and frustration and from your liver, so you don't hold on to those emotions, because we need our liver for emotional stability. We need it to remove toxins. We need it to help waste out of our body, so it holds a variety of functions that is needed. So it's also a good time to do like a cleanse with milk thistle, dandelion, nettle. Those are some herbs. You want to eat sour foods like lime, lemon, sauerkraut. Those will be good during this time. And also your greens, your leafy green vegetables are always great to eat during this time. And drinking lots of water, staying away from caffeinated drinks and coffee. So doing this time, green tea. Green tea is definitely good during this time. Look like my throat chakra lit up. That looked funny. So did want to touch on that, knowing that this is a time to focus on the liver. The liver is on the right side of the body, stomach spleen on the left side of the body. Of course, we have our kidneys on our back, and then our heart and our lungs is also our focus. So in traditional Chinese medicine, there's a focus on the 5 major organs. So there you go. What else? So dream space last night. Very interesting. I woke up and I really thought about it. Last night in the dream, it was a visit from an ancestor that was, this particular ancestor stated that she was she was like the aunt of my aunt on my mother's side, my maternal side. You know, my mother passed away in this realm 4 years ago, 2020, May 18th. And she came to visit. In the dream, my mother was trying to keep me from this elder. And I didn't understand why. And I was like, I need to go and talk to her. I need to go and sit with her, because I don't know when she's leaving and I don't know how much longer she'll be here. But I was thinking in both, you know, physically, and then, you know, geographically as also physically. So I went over to the house where she was staying at, and I asked her about my aunt. And I have an Aunt Linda in this reality. I asked her about my aunt, and she told me, she was like, you know, your Aunt Linda doesn't have the same mother as your mother and your uncle. My grandmother had 9 children, but the first 3, which my mother was included, and my Aunt Linda and my uncle, they all had the same father that my grandmother was married to at the time. But in this dream, this ancestor sat with me, and she told me that my Aunt Linda did not have the same mother as my mother and my uncle. And I was like, really? I said, I didn't know that. She was like, yeah, they didn't want anybody to know, it's just been a secret, but that's why, you know, this is going on with her. That's why it's different, things things like that. So I leave. I go into this ceremony. It was almost like it was church. I leave that place. I meet back up with my mother, and then I tell her that I met with our elder, and she said, I know, she told you that Linda doesn't have the same mother. And I was like, exactly. And I was like, what does that mean? So I was trying to, even in the dream, y'all, I was trying to get clarity on what does that mean. Because yes, we know we cannot have the same father, but how do you not have the same mother? Right? That was real interesting to me, that my aunt that was staying in the dream did not have the same mother. And so just thinking about it, I'm not going to try to go deep into interpretation of it. I like to sit with it and let it come to me. I don't know if it's talking about, cosmic mother, from a spiritual standpoint of star system mother, differences, or what that maternal energy was trying to convey to me. But this ancestor did have an interesting presence. She did have an interesting, demeanor about herself. It was very matter of fact, and it was very dominating, but also intellectual, and it's like she held a lot of wisdom as well. So and for me to sit with her, me being able to sit with her was a huge deal. Excuse me, y'all. And everything just flushed out. For me being able to sit with her was a deal, a huge deal. And then, of course, me moving on to the, ceremony or the service. That was also interesting. So, yeah, I'm going to allow that to just sit and fester on what it means for my divine energy. That mother energy, that different mother. She has a different mother. On what that could mean for me or for us or for whatever you all interpret that to be. That's fine. Everybody has different interpretations. So whatever resonates with you, take it. But do know this is the spring season. Even though here in Memphis, like I've said before, it doesn't really feel like it yet. Like right now it's 52 degrees. It's been still a little chilly out. It hadn't really got to the 70s and stayed there. But this is still a time where we can go into detoxing our liver. So really think about incorporating more sour foods. Like I said, lemon, lime, vinegar, sauerkraut. If you don't drink green tea, get some green tea. That's good. And of course your leafy green vegetables. If that's hard for you to eat, then do green juice or green smoothies, green apple, just get in those green foods. Kiwi, kale, cabbage, spinach, turnip greens, mustard greens, collard greens. Those are always good. So get in those green foods. But of course, and if you're someone who takes medications, or you're consistently on a particular medication for maybe high blood pressure, diabetes, or cholesterol, or heart, make sure you look at the contraindications before you do anything. I'm not telling you not to take your medication. Stay on your given regimen. And then, of course, look at the contraindications if you're taking nettle, if you're taking dandelion root, if you're doing milk thistle, any of those, then just making sure that there's no contraindications with the medications that you're currently taking under prescribed by your PCP. And I never tell anybody because, I'm not a physician at all. I just share things that's given to me by the divine, and I do a lot of reading and research. But if you're not committed to living a healthier lifestyle, really committed to doing that, and taking care of the physical form that has internal mechanism system, then don't half-ass it where you're gonna do like, oh, I'm gonna do herbs, but then I'm gonna go get some hot wings. Like, that shit don't work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got the mindset, and that's why I was saying, like last week when I was talking about breatharians, it's all about mental. It's all about the thought. Like, if you have the higher thought process of no matter what you ingest into the physical form, you do understand that this is all just a holographic universe and nothing is real anyway, and it's all just a creation of our imagination, and we're not even seeing really the whole spectrum of this reality. And if you can conceive that and understand that with your third eye and your intellect, deep within your subconscious mind, then anything that you take in within your mouth and you ingest will not harm you. Then of course you don't even have to do herbs. You don't have to do anything, because you could eat a steak, and the steak could be like a herbal therapy for you. It doesn't even really matter, because it's not real. But if you're someone who indulges and you eat for gratification, and you haven't ascended to that thought process yet, then don't try to mix the two. Don't try to mix what you have the conceptual mindset to think that is unhealthy for you, along with something that you feel like is going to heal you, because they're two contraindications. They don't match, so nothing will come into full alignment, because it's not coming in full alignment here. So if it's not in full alignment in your mindset, then there's no way that it can work for you. So people be out there and say, hey, I tried that, I tried this, I tried that, and it didn't work for me. Well, nothing will work until your mind works, right? That's first and foremost. I don't care if you're plant-based, if you're pescatarian, or if you're a carnivore. It has to all start in the mind. Everything starts mentally, that mental thought process. So yeah, that's what I want to share. Really, we're in the season of spring. What we need to do as far as our liver, that's really focus and attention to the liver. And the emotion, it could be anger or frustration. So of course, breath work is always very important. Like yesterday, I had the Wellness Wednesday. I did some Tai Chi and some Qigong, and just did some breath work and just breathing to bring about peace and balance and harmony between the and just really working on that nervous system, not being in that sympathetic nervous system, but working in the rest and digest. So that is very important to do that. So I just wanted to share this video with all of those who take the time out to listen. And of course, I think it's a wood element. And if you don't have one already, then Google the Circadian Rhythms wheel. I love the Circadian Rhythms wheel that gives you the time of day in which you should be doing certain things and which organ you are focusing on. So it gives you a plan of action, what you need to be doing during every time of the day. And for those who are working third shift, unfortunately, you are really burning out your prenatal chi. You really should not be working that late between those hours, and you're going against the natural clock of this earth plane that you're living in. So with you going against your internal clock and the external clock, you are utilizing up that prenatal chi, that life force that you were born with, that opens you up and makes you more susceptible to illness and disease. So, if you're someone who wakes up and have to be at work at 9 or 11 and you don't get off until 5 in the morning, just like Master Teacher, Master Haruti at the temple would tell us, you have to find a way out. So you definitely need to find a way out of that. You should not be working those types of shifts. So figure out a way to get out of that. That should not be something that you do continuously. Sorry, y'all. Told you when the video started. That's what's going on. My body is wanting to rid itself of stuff. right, so that's what I wanted to share with you all during this time. Those were the messages that came to me. Of course, I gave you a little snippet of the dream space and what happened in the dream space. And as always, I leave you in peace and